Yo, welcome back to the No Cut Sports Podcast with your host, Niall Frazier. And today we got a few things we need to talk about, but before we get started, could you please like, comment, and subscribe to always catch this vibe, man? You already know. Also, I want to talk about the 4th annual free book bag giveaway. It will be August the 10th at 828 North Hanover Street in Pottstown, PA, 19464. If you're in the area or you're in the surrounding areas, please stop by. Me and my friends have been doing this for the last couple of years. We want to make sure, we give these kids, a chance. We'd rather these kids be in the book than out there in the streets and stuff like that. So hopefully, this is a way that we can help give back. And I also want to say too, there's some other ones going on too that I'll mention as well. But I know we'll have about 400 or 500 book bags. At least that's what we did last year, and try to do the same thing every year. And I know some people talked about donating, so you can also send donations to 828 North Hanover Street by August. I would say by August the 8th and 9th. I'll get you some more information on that too as well. But we're only looking for water, bottles of water, notebooks, pencils, and folders as well. So. And these are kids' book bags, like I said, and I hopefully see y'all out there. But if you can't make ours, there are a few other events that are going on in the Pottstown area. I know the Pottstown Middle School or the high school, one of the two. If you don't know, I've graduated from Pottstown High School, Trojan for life. But I know they're giving away some free book bags with supplies in them. I do work with clusters or do work for clusters, and they're also having a book bag giveaway, and I think there's the week of August, the 8th. The week of the 8th of August, excuse me. And shout out to my bro Corey and them, Tony Betts, Blades Edge. They're also doing haircuts, free haircuts, and free supplies for book bags and stuff like that. Or they're doing a book bag giveaway as well, if I'm not mistaken. So shout out to everybody, man. It's good to see that, town supporting one another or supporting these kids, man, because like I said, we'd rather y'all be in the book than in these streets, man. So with that being said, let's get into what we need to talk about today. I don't want to hold y'all too long. I'm probably going to bounce around a lot, man, because I know I missed yesterday. It's crazy, man. I done made 3, 4, 5 videos already, right? And I can't get them to load to my computer, man. I record off my phone and things like that. And then I got a new phone was the crazy part, and I can't even edit like I used to on my last phone. So I don't know, man. It is what it is. But I know I missed a few days, and I'm probably gonna be bouncing back and forth on what I seen, what I talked about, what I missed, and go from there. So I'm just starting off with yesterday's practice. Some of the people that weren't in attendance were Saquon Barkley with a personal reason, Tyler Steen with the ankle, and Oren Burks with the knee, Lane Johnson with the toe. Now Lane Johnson and Saquon Barkley, both participated today. Brett Toth was limited yesterday with a hamstring, but Trevor Keegan went out yesterday with an arm injury earlier in practice. He did return today with his arm wrapped, but then later on in today's practice, Landon Dickerson went to a blue tent. So something that we need to monitor with Landon Dickerson, as offensive line, we need him there. Hopefully it's nothing too serious, but like I said, we'll keep that. We'll just monitor that as the days go on. Next, I wanted to talk about the defense. So these last few days, and I'm talking about today and yesterday, it's been a defensive show. It's been good to see too, because we really only been hearing about the offense. Of course, Jalen Hurts, they said he's been surgical with the football, being very accurate, being smart as well, taking the check downs when he needs to. But the defense, I feel like it's been getting lost in transition, because I feel like some of the passes that Jalen Hurts had to make were due to the fact that Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis were getting there. I know yesterday Jordan Davis, first play of the game, used his explosiveness and speed to get to the quarterback yesterday. As well as, like I said, that Lane Johnson was out as well. So Nolan Smith, thank you, sweet baby Jesus, I heard Nolan Smith's name, because some people, and I'm not, and not Ant. First off, shout out to Ant, because Ant is a loyal supporter of this podcast, man. So shout out to Ant, man. Appreciate you, bro. But we just be talking, we be bidding back and forth in the comments. If you didn't get a chance to watch the Mean Green podcast on Sunday with me and my boy Reginald Barnes, Please go, subscribe to his channel, Bet on Yourself Sports. I know his work schedule done picked up a little bit, so I don't know how often he's been releasing videos, but he's still around, man. Don't forget him. So my man over there, we've been talking about Nolan Smith on our podcast, and Antonio likes to poke fun at it, but I think at the same time it's good for the both of us because it just opens up a dialogue to have us talk about our team, some of the players, some of the things we see, some of the things I might not see. But I was telling Antonio, and I've seen this on I've seen other people just bashing Nolan Smith, like, oh, he's not worth or whatever he's worth. Crazy to me. But I know Ant had asked me, we ain't heard nothing about Nolan Smith, and I told him on Sunday, I'm like, it's only been 1 week. Only been 1 week, brother, of practice. You know what I'm saying? And yesterday we hear about Nolan Smith getting back-to-back sacks on Jalen Hurts, and this could be due to the fact that Lane Johnson wasn't in. Of course, you know what I mean. Fred Johnson was playing. I know Mekhi Becton stepped in for a little bit too as well, but I think it's just good for his confidence, Nolan Smith's confidence. I do think he has the talent in his body to be one of the. Me saying elite is crazy, but I think he could be an elite pass rusher in this league. You want to take it slow with him, but my thing is this: I feel like he has the tools in his body to do what he needs to do out there on that field. Alongside of, we've been hearing about Jalex Hunt as well. Him being handpicked in the 3rd round by Vic Fangio. He's been making some decent plays as well. Nick Sirianni also mentioned both of those guys in his press conference yesterday, so that's also good to hear, alongside of Patrick Johnson. And just looking for more from those two guys, especially my man Nolan Smith, man, because last year wasn't the best showcase for him as he didn't get to see the field too often. But when he did, man, he did showcase some of that talent that I think he possesses. I just, hopefully we just, he can continue that on, continue that up. But I'm also want to talk about who the first team defense was yesterday for cornerback and linebacker. Cornerback was Keeley Ringo and Slay, and the linebackers, per usual, were Devin White and Zach Bond. Now, one thing I want to say about Keeley Ringo, he's been starting, what's this, day 5? So I think 4 out of the 5 practices or 3 out of the 5 practices, he's been starting alongside of Slay. He's been interchanged with Isaiah Rodgers, who is also battling for that CB2 or cornerback 2 position. I think both of those guys got a good chance of winning that. I think, if Slay wasn't here, I think it would be those 2 young guys. But at the same time, we still do have Slay. No disrespect to Slay. But even he said this might be his last year, at least for money, under his contract money-wise. So that's good to see, too, as well, man. I did hear Slay got burnt a couple times, but it's practice, man, but that's something else to monitor, too, as well, because he's coming off that knee injury. You want to make sure that you want to make sure that he's okay with that. So, but yeah, man, those guys, the corners has been battling it out. But the Devin White and Zach Bond thing is a big thing because, as we talked about before, Nakobe Dean, he had a press conference, I want to say yesterday, and he said that he had just got cleared at the end of minicamp, or that last week of minicamp, to start participating in practices. So he is a little bit behind the 8 ball. I would like to see, some more from Nakobe Dean. They did put the pads on today, which he said he couldn't wait for. But they, hopefully give himself, a chance to prove himself. I know he's been getting rotated in with Zach Bond as well on the first team. They also had mentioned that Jeremiah Trotter had some first team reps, if I'm not mistaken. So that's even great to see too as well. Vic Fangio is trying to find, where these players fit best in this scheme or in his scheme. I don't want to jump to the day, but I know Quinion Mitchell's been going off, man. As y'all know, I've been a big proponent of Q on this channel. Think he really got the talent to be the next top, not just for the Eagles, but the top cornerback in the league, man. He's been playing in the nickel. He's been playing a lot in the slot, which I did mention. Some people say he's not playing in the slot. He's playing in that slot, man. So shout out to Q, man. And he had a couple of plays today. I'm sorry, I'm going to go back and forth between today and tomorrow, so just try to follow me here. But they did talk about Q today having 2 first, one of his plays against A.J. Brown, he was blanketed against A.J. Brown, or blanketed A.J. Brown from getting the ball, and then he also forced A.J. Brown out of bounds and then gestured him with the out-of-bounds gesture, right? But I think A.J. Brown did come back and was able to get something on Q. But I'm loving that battle, man. I'm loving that Q can stay with these elite, because both Devontae and A.J. Brown are elite receivers in my eyes, man. Can't tell me nothing else. And I think between Keeley Ringo and Isaiah Rodgers and Q, I think those guys have been playing pretty good, pretty well. They've been saying that they've been right with stride for stride with each player that they go against. So that's good to see, man, that they can get this work in against some elite talent. As you know, on both sides of the ball, there's elite talent. So it kind of pays off, it pays off for both sides of the ball. You know what I mean? They're getting reps against an elite talent on both sides of this ball. So pause, but good to see, man. Also, with Lane Johnson and things like that, the Mekhi Becton situation is a good thing too as well, because I feel like I really ain't been talking about Mekhi, but with the different injuries that we've been, I don't want to say crazy injuries, but some injuries that keep some of these players up, such as Lane Johnson yesterday or today, Landon Dickerson. It's good that you got somebody like Mekhi Becton that will be able to step in and hopefully, be able to solidify, that side, one of the sides of the offensive line. And it seems to be that Stoutland really does like Mekhi Becton as he's been working with him. A lot of people have been talking about Mekhi Becton, so he is a first-round talent, and we hope to see that on display for this team this season. Moving along, I know they talked about Zach Berman talked about the biggest takeaway from yesterday was Lane Johnson and Tyler Steen's absence. So, and like I just said, the Eagles chose to play Mekhi Becton at right guard, saying that his swing tackle value is very important, especially considering Lane Johnson's value to the team. But the Eagles are in serious consideration in evaluating Becton at guard. So, like I said, man, hopefully Becton can keep working his way up to, and I already think he's there, to be honest, man. I just think he just has to keep putting in that consistent and diligent work each day during practice, and we're going to see my man on that offensive line a little bit more often, I would say. So, also with that being said, I wanted to talk about, excuse me, I wanted to talk about some things that have been going around. I seen something with Bill Belichick being considered for the Nick Sirianni's head coaching role, which I don't know what that's all about. As y'all know, Bill Belichick is like 72 years old. I don't know how that's going to work out. I would love to have Bill Belichick's mind in the building because, him winning all the Super Bowls with Tom Brady and good stuff like that. But to coach this team, how long can he coach this team for? It wouldn't even make sense in my eyes. But, I feel like it is what it is. It's just a rumor going around. But I will say this about Nick Sirianni. I feel like he's been taking heed to what's been going on these last couple of seasons. They ramped up practices. I think the shortest practice that they had was about an hour, I want to say, and the longest one they had about was like 90-plus minutes. So it's good to see that these guys are getting work in. I heard Paris Campbell on the Varsity podcast saying that, he kind of walked into something that he didn't think he was walking into, because usually training camp, mini camp, and all that good stuff, it's a slow process. They work you in and things like that. But they said that when he called Howie, or when Howie called him, he said that when Howie called him, he said that, Paris, you got a chip on your shoulder, with what happened to you last season, and we got a big chip on our shoulder. They said because of what happened with us last season with that fall off. So they've come in, they've been ramping things up quickly. It kind of goes to show you that with Jalen Hurts working with the players this offseason, or some of the wide receivers this offseason, and tight ends as well, getting those guys acclimated to what to expect coming into this new season. Because as I said, the way we went out last year wasn't like Philadelphia football. The way we played last year wasn't Philadelphia football, and I think a lot of people in that building took heed to it. They went out there, got the coaches that we need on both sides of the ball, players that had that mindset, or brought in players with the mindset to win. And I think this is going to be a very, very good year. I know people are saying that they're thinking we're going to start off slow, but at the same time, I don't know about that, man. I think with Jalen Hurts having to learn so many different schemes over his short career, I feel like it's going to be somewhat of a benefit, man. I know Kellen Moore spoke at his press conference saying a few things about how he's been loving working with Jalen Hurts, how he's been picking up the offense pretty well. Those are all great things you want to hear, especially when it comes to your franchise quarterback for your team. I never really, and my thing is this: I never really had, I always had faith in Jalen Hurts. It's just been the media that's been coming out and bashing him. So, and I ain't gonna lie, man, it might be a good thing, because this might give them the motivation that they need to get over that hump. I know they say, teams that get two new coordinators can't go back to the Super Bowl. which it could be right, but things are meant to be changed. Things like rules. I don't want to say rules are meant to be broken, but things can change, man. If you have that mindset that want to be elite and be great, and you put that work in each and every day, like they preach, you will get there, man. I know some people, some people take it for granted, man. You being able to get to the Super Bowl, not every year, but when you can get to the Super Bowl consecutively, you don't have that same feel. And then it's hard to keep a team together that's that elite when you have to play all these players. And that's a situation that's been going around, especially like with the 49ers, the Cowboys as well. I know they lost one of their key players on defense, so prayers to him. Hopefully he gets a speedy recovery because I know we don't like the Cowboys, but I don't never want to wish bad on anybody. So hopefully he can have a speedy recovery, get back and get back to his team. But just with the Eagles, man, this is their window, this is their opportunity. So I feel as though with Kellen Moore's mindset and Vic Fangio's mindset, like I said, getting these different practices in and having longer practices and more condition, doing things to keep them in condition, I feel like they're going to have a very, very good start. I know Vic Fangio, and they keep talking about this first game that we might drop, which could be possible. But if you remember back, I don't know when this was. It was an interview that Sean McVay, I can't never think of the Packers coach, but all those guys coached together, and Kyle Shanahan. But they all three of those guys coached together under Kyle Shanahan's dad, and they were all asked what was the hardest defense to go against, and they said Vic Fangio. And I remember Vic Fangio saying that they like to make it hard on like rookie or first second year quarterbacks because it shouldn't be no way that they're going out there and having this. Well, I mean, CJ Stroud's a different breed, but shouldn't be able to go out there and throw all over their defense. So I do think that Vic Fangio is going to, and that's his scheme, man. He makes it look like one thing and it's something else. So I really do think that some of these guys are going to go out here and shine that first game in Brazil. Can't wait for that to come on. As y'all know, Thursday we got a game. Houston Texans versus the Bears for the Hall of Fame game. I can't wait for that on Thursday. So we're getting back into football. We're ramping up with football. Beautiful thing to see. I also wanted to talk about James Bradbury a little bit before I get off of here. I do remember us talking about, if we're going to trade him, could he, find a trade suitor or something like that. And honestly, I don't know if it's going to happen. I did see a tweet up here. I can't remember who it was. I do apologize for that. But he said that he thinks that the Eagles rather keep James Bradbury just to see what he can do. Of course, he's under contract as well, but just to see what he can do. I know he had a PBU as a second-team safety yesterday. Nothing crazy, but it's good to see that he still has that mindset to want to work and be great. He talked about it in his in his press conference, about, he didn't play well last year. He admitted it. He admitted to what went wrong, took accountability. But I do think the Super Bowl situation played into his mind, like, him. Maybe he think it fell on him. I don't know what it is, but I feel like that just carried over into the next season, and he didn't have a good season. Did he make some plays last year? Oh yeah, of course. But when it came to some of his tackling, man, it wasn't looking too good. So hopefully Bradberry's taking heed to what he did wrong, man. I really do feel like I'm a man at the end of the day, but I feel like Bradberry might be able to come back from this, man. So they're saying that the Philadelphia Eagles are looking to keep him. So probably at safety, because we are kind of thin at safety. I really don't want to get on here and talk about Justin Simmons, but that's still up in the air. If they need safety help or safety depth, I still think that's a thing. But Quandre Diggs, if I'm not mistaken, is still out there. If I heard somebody, one of the content creators said that, if I'm not mistaken. So they do have a few options, but we just got to play it by ear and see what they do when it comes to that. But it's just good to see that Bradberry, like I said, is just taking heed of what he did last year, what he didn't do last year, and trying to correct his wrongs. But I know Vic Fangio did say it's a hard transition to do that, to come from cornerback to safety. Only some of the most elite players, and there's only a couple of them, so we're able to make that transition. So we'll see how that goes, man, and monitor that as well. But I will say overall, man, it seemed like this team is off to a fast and good start on both sides of the ball. I know today they talked about the defense consecutively back-to-back stopping the offense within the 10 in the red zone, so that was good. And I know that Jalen Hurts had about 6 touchdowns in the red zone today during, I guess, the 7-on-7s or 11-on-11s that they had. Elliott Shore-Park said he could have had more. So it's just good to see, man. My thing is, they're still getting acclimated to the new offense. still installing the offense and stuff like that. But we will start to see more of what we should be expecting to see in the season. So I want to make sure I'm not forgetting nothing here. Let me just go to Twitter right quick just to make sure they didn't post nothing new, because then at least I can announce it while I'm on here. So for practice today, they had Jalen Hurts for 14 for 21, 6 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, which is great. They also talked about Josh Sweat also had a press conference, which was a little, I don't want to say it was weird, but he kind of said he didn't want to drop back into coverage, which I don't understand why he would say it, because that's what Vic Fangio's scheme is going to have him do, especially. So I don't know how that's going to work out. I know I heard maybe one or two things about Sweat during this camp, so I'm hoping he can pan out too, because he is the veteran on his team, on the edge, and I would like to see him, make some more plays while he's here with us. But I'm sorry, y'all. I just want to make sure that I'm not missing anything. They said they got Mekhi Becton here. He must have said this at a press conference today. Is it the 29th or yesterday? I feel like I'm in the family. I really mean that. The way people have welcomed me here has been great, and I don't think people understand what that means for a player. And he's right about that, man. Every player that comes to the Eagles organization always says they feel like it's more of a family than just, waking up and going to work every day. And I think the owner and Howie and all those guys really do make it feel like that, especially if you watch the Hard Knocks episode. When I'm sitting there listening to the Giants GM and I listen to how he articulates himself, especially when he's talking to different players, just talking to anybody in general. He's very specific about some of the words that he uses and things like that. And Howie's kind of cool and stuff like, he got a cool personality as well, but he's very different. Howie Roseman is a very different breed than you would say to like Joe Sheen or something like that. So shout out to the Eagles organization for that, man. We talked about Quinion Mitchell, and then I guess CJ Garner had a standout performance today. Garner radiated energy, joy at the offense and celebrating defensive stops, always flying. I also seen Eagle Owl said that. I seen Eagle Owl come out with something today as well, talking about CJ going, I guess, at the Madden ratings, going at Kevin Byard, saying they replaced me with you, buddy boy. So it's good that's the type of energy I feel like we was missing between CJ Garner and now you got Quinion Mitchell talking crazy to the number one wide receiver on the team. This is the type of defense that I'm looking to see, man. Jalex Hunt, he's another one been getting to it and stuff like that. They say Jalen Carter likes to talk a lot on the defensive side, so I feel like that's what we've been missing, man. And it's starting to come back, man. I'm really happy for it, man. I really do feel like we're going to make a very, very deep run. As I said before, I got us going to the Super Bowl again. I know it's probably crazy to say with our situation that I explained before with the different coordinators that don't really happen. But I feel like this team is well equipped, man. And you might have some holes here and there that they need to fill, but I feel like this team is more than equipped to be able to get back to at least the NFC Championship and hopefully the Super Bowl. And we're just going to keep talking about it, man. We're going to keep following it as these practices go on. Like I said, they did. I don't know if I said it, but they did have the pads on today. So hopefully we get to see a little bit more competition with that. Maybe some more hitting and things like that. We don't want nobody to get hurt, but we're going to start seeing some players start to stand out at this point, I will say. So I know Vic Fangio did talk about, like, you want to know who the starters are. They're going to separate themselves from the pack. So we'll probably start to see that in these upcoming practices. So with that being said, please stay on the lookout. Like I said, we have the 4th annual free book bag drop giveaway coming up August the 10th. 828 North Hanover Street, Pottstown, PA. If you're in the area, please stop by. If you want to donate, I have the information up here in the flyer where you can send the stuff. Like I said, it's 828 North Hanover Street. If you want to send anything, nothing crazy. We're talking water. We're doing folders, notebooks, and pencils. Nothing crazy. So we do appreciate anybody that wants to come out and volunteer. Like I said, we do have our friends and family volunteering, but please reach out to me, Mar, Nas, Mike, and Reek if you want to be a participant and volunteer at this event. Don't forget about the other events that I did mention. Please, if your kids need a book bag, it ain't just us, as other people out there that's in the Pottstown area that are doing the same thing. So With that being said, I do appreciate all my followers, man. Thank you for staying by me, watching the videos, man. I know I'll be stumbling all across this stuff, but I really do appreciate y'all hanging in there with me. And with that being said, it's now from the No Cut Sports Podcast. If you could, please like, comment, and subscribe to always catch this vibe. And one more thing, man. Y'all already know. Go Birds. Yes, sir. Holla at y'all, man. Y'all be safe, man.